I want to show you how to do an Alla Prima self-portrait, which is a wet on wet technique usually done in one session. I'm going to be using a limited palette, just my primaries, a Payne's Gray, and a titanium white. What I'm doing here is showing you how I'm mixing my primaries to produce my secondaries. When you mix red and yellow, you get orange. When you mix your blue and your yellow, you get green. And when you mix your red and your blue, you get a violet. With those various combinations and the inclusion of white, you can get various tones, tints, and shades that produce the flesh tones needed for your self-portrait. I like to create my color swatches on my palette before I start painting. This helps me to organize my thoughts. Since I'm working in one session, my time is limited, and I want to produce as much success as possible. The first thing I'm going to do is line out my drawing. Then I'm going to block everything in with a muted mid-tone. Now, as I'm working in this process and using my limited palette, I'm making some errors and I'm trying to correct them the best I can. But what's happening in my process is I'm getting really tight, and because of that, I'm starting to freak out a little bit, which happens, and I'm making some errors in the likeness of the portrait. So instead of freaking out any further, I just start over. It happens. Paint is so forgiving. I redraw, reblock, and begin again. I'm much more relaxed now, and I'm just reminding myself to stay loose and not to focus on details. That's not what this portrait is about. It's about rendering a likeness, but also staying loose and painterly. I'm much more successful in correcting my errors the second time around because I'm remaining loose in my brush strokes and painterly. This painting took one session, from drawing and blocking in to painting, starting over, and finally finishing. Took about 3 hours. And there you have it, Alla Prima self-portrait with a limited palette.